With On the Move as this year's theme, the VW Group fired the starting pistol, so to speak, for the IAA in Frankfurt. And naturally, Europe's largest car manufacturer put on an appropriately big show on their home turf. According to tradition, at the preview evening of the IAA, the highlights of the group brands are unveiled in front of an invited audience from home and abroad during a gala presentation. The euphoric mood prevailing in the group was reflected in the ideas presented by the individual brands. SEAT kicked off the Grand Gala in Frankfurt. This crossover concept car shows what could be done with a three-door Leon. The Leon Cross Sport combines the sporty image of the three-door version with the experience off-road estate. SEAT is presenting it at the IAA as just a concept car, but it would make a sensible addition to the Leon family. Fans had to wait a long time for the new Bentley. At previous motor shows around the world, new parts of the first SUV from this brand were gradually revealed. Now, at last, the time has come. The Bentayga has taken the stage to become the fastest luxury SUV in the world. Bentley have now accomplished their mission, with the help of 608 horsepower and a top speed of over 300 kilometers per hour. Lamborghini is also famous for extremely fast cars. The Huracan has been a success for over a year now, but because fans also wanted an open-top version of the basic model, the Italian car makers have followed up with a Spider. Now you can really enjoy the sound of the 610 horsepower V10 to the fullest. Bugatti are presenting a concept car for the fans. Sadly, no one will be able to drive this car, at least in the real world. But things look better in the virtual world. As the name Vision Gran Turismo suggests, this show car was built for the PlayStation bestseller. In this way, Bugatti want to say thank you to the many fans for their loyalty and enthusiasm. The Bugatti Vision Gran Turismo is meant to be visually reminiscent of the great motor racing tradition of the 1920s and 30s. The color scheme represents a look back to the victories in the legendary Le Mans 24-hour race. The car has the latest motor racing technology built in. The Transporter is certainly the best-known model in the VW commercial vehicle range, but it's not only cut out for tough transport tasks. The 200-horsepower bi-turbo diesel Panamericana is a multi-purpose vehicle, which doesn't shy away from outings into off-road terrain, and if necessary, with an appropriate large payload on board. Audi is presenting the new A4 in Frankfurt. So far, 12 million customers have chosen this bestseller, and it's still the most important model in the Ingolstadt carmakers range today. The latest generation is now more economical on the one hand, and on the other hand more comfortable and safer. It shows its rear lights clearly, ahead of the rest of the pack of medium-sized car competitors. The e-tron Quattro is still a concept car. It's the first electric SUV from the Audi stable. The engineers have really gone to town on this car. This also means it has a range of over 400 kilometers. The Ingolstadt carmakers promise driving fun with no compromises. They claim it will be a typical Audi driving experience. As its name suggests, the IAA is clearly a motor show. But because Ducati belong to the VW Group brands, they make a big contribution to the transfer of technology at Europe's largest carmaker. Lightweight construction and downsizing have been part of motorcycle engineering for a long time. And for this reason, the Italian manufacturers have become an important feature at events before the big motor shows. The Superb has already been highly praised and has won over a lot of new customers for Skoda. In Frankfurt, the estate version is celebrating its world premiere. This may well mean even more car buyers will choose a Skoda for the first time, because the Czech car makers not only offer a great design, but also high-quality workmanship, combined with lots of space at a keen price. The Superb also represents a good alternative to drivers who have driven estate cars made in Stuttgart or Munich for years. The Tiguan has been a bestseller in its segment since 2007. The new generation is set to latch onto this success. VW is presenting the completely new model for the first time in Frankfurt. Although it's now more spacious and faster, at the same time it's said to be less thirsty. The Wolfsburg manufacturers have really geared up the connectivity. Many driver assistance systems, which are normally optional extras, even in the luxury class, are now fitted as standard equipment. And although Sebastian Ogier and Julian Ingrassia were still driving victoriously in the Australian Rally on Sunday, they didn't miss out on flying to Frankfurt with their third World Championship Rally Cup in their hand luggage. With its performance, the Tiguan GTE may well also impress a world champion who normally drives a Polo WRC. The plug-in sports version of the Tiguan generates power for a longer range with a roof-mounted solar panel. Electric cars are playing an increasingly important role in the VW Group. The engineers have been looking at how the charging process can be carried out as simply and efficiently as possible. The solution they've come up with is called V-Charge. For most people, the word turbo immediately conjures up a Porsche. One of these has now been installed in the 911. Doesn't sound that new, as there's been a 911 turbo around for decades. But the turbo in the 911 Carrera S is now built into the rear of the car. This is said to make it more efficient and more powerful. The Mission E is a concept car which demonstrates what an electric Porsche could look like. A long-distance sports car whose 600 electro-horsepower propel it to a top speed of over 250 kilometers per hour, with a range of around 500 kilometers. When the battery is used up, it is said to be able to recharge to 80% of its capacity during the space of a 15-minute pit stop. Even though the Mission E is only a concept car, Porsche promised in Frankfurt that they would build an electric sports car. The VW Group evening was a fitting opening to the IAA 2015. Europe's largest car manufacturer once more underlined the fact that the theme of electromobility has become more important than ever. They plan to include 20 more electric models in their range by 2020. But VW are also planning big steps in the area of digitalization and autonomously driven vehicles. In the future, more and more models are set to become a kind of drivable smartphone.